Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
What's up guys, welcome back to Real Talk. So this is my first proper video on my BMW M2. So I know I've done a bit of a walk around and me collecting it, but I thought in this video I'd talk to you about why I decided to get an M2, why I decided to get rid of the M140, you know, what other cars were on the table, if there were any on the table. So just thought I'd mention that because a lot of you are saying, oh, you're chopping and changing your cars all the time. Yes, that's right, but this is something that I have truly wanted since it came out in 2016. So I'm just going to talk about why I finally decided to do it and why I decided to change my M140 for it, and you know what my thoughts are on it compared to the M140 too. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video.
Okay, so I know I'm wearing a different attire to the beginning of the video. It's a sunny day today. I've had a little bit of time now in the car, and oh, I absolutely am in love with it. No car has made me feel like this. No car, and I can say that with nothing but confidence. I'm getting loads of stares because a standard car is very loud. It's very, very loud. It's very, 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 very loud. But oh my god, I absolutely love it, man. Listen, it just burbles all the time. Oh, can you hear all of that? Just burbles all the time and on the upshifts. Oh my god, absolutely love it. So where do I start? So I think we'll start with what made me get rid of the M140. So as I've kind of touched on from my stories and at the beginning, it was literally this car I've wanted for a long time, in this colour, this spec. This is a little bit more than what I actually bargained for, to be honest, and insurance was always an issue. So before, when I got the Type R and I changed that to the M140, I did originally buy an M2, and the M2 prices for insurance were like £800 extra, and I was like, what the hell, that's absolutely mad. So I got the M140, loved that car, but the one thing that really put me off about it was, obviously I've had one before, but it was an OPF car, a PPF car, so it was a petrol particulate filter in the car, which completely changed the way that it sounded. And as soon as I found that out, that was after I'd collected it, I was like, because I didn't even know it was a bloody thing, to be honest. That just, I don't know, it just made me a bit unsure on the thing, because the reason I love the M140 is you just slap an M Performance back box on, a couple of £100, you can get them now, and it just transforms the sound of the car, and it's so loud. And you didn't get that kind of sound on the M140, and that kind of unsettled me, and thought, do you know what, my finances changed, and I thought, well, let's just re-look at an M2 again, because I know I've done some stuff to the car, Motec, the M140. It's not going to owe me a great deal of money. And when I say owe me a great deal of money, I'm not going to be at a massive loss. So I started looking, and I saw this car pop up, this beautiful M2 with everything I wanted, but more. And I saw, saw the price. I thought, bloody hell, that's not bad. Done my homework, found out the chassis, checked all the service history. Everything was bang on, and even to the point where it'd gone in for a full inspection of BMW a few weeks ago, and everything was absolutely perfect with it. So I thought, wow, like, this is a nice car. It had the had the competition alloys on, which just made it look wicked, fitted, and bought from BMW. And not only that, the one thing that really made it different to all the other M2s that I've seen was it had M Performance coilovers on, actually fitted and supplied by BMW. Now, we know anything from a main dealer isn't cheap anyway, but the way that this car sits, considering it's not, something aftermarket, it is a genuine BMW part, it's not cheap. It has just transformed the car into something completely different, and it looks amazing. As well as that, it had things like custom-made front splitters and side skirts. The car was PPF, low mileage. I just thought, do you know what? If I'm going to get an M2, that is going to be the car. So looked at some figures and thought, bloody hell, like that's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. So crunched some numbers and more, got something that I was happy with, and spoke to the insurer, and I managed. Bloody hell. I managed to get the insurance literally with hardly any cost to change on the M140 today. So I just thought, that is actually a no-brainer. Now, a lot of you are going to say, oh, you know, you're stupid, it's a very similar car. That's something that I used to say and not spending much time in M2. But after driving this, coming straight out of an M140, driving 100 odd miles to collect a car, driving back in this, they are completely different cars. Now, I'll be perfectly honest, the M140 or 140s, 240s, they are probably quicker. They feel quicker. I've had, you know, a few little pulls with the likes of M2s when I had my M140. No difference, if not, the M140 pulled a little bit more. But the way that this car is set up, let's not forget, it is a proper M car. It is a proper M car. It is just very, very different. It feels so much more planted. Let's not forget, it's got bits from M3, M4 on it, including the rear differential. Transforms the car. When I say transforms the car, it feels a lot different to an M140. It feels a lot more animalistic. Does that make sense? It feels a lot more planted, like it wants to go. There's a lot more grip. It feels more like a go-kart as compared. And let's not forget, this is an M car at the end of the day. So every M car, as you know, comes with an absolutely brilliant soundtrack. The sound is just, it is brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I don't think I need to do any more to the sound, because it is loud enough. It crackles a bit, it blurbs, it farts on the upshifts. It's just absolutely wicked. Now, comparing this box, when I first got it, I thought, oh, this car feels a bit weird, like something's wrong with it. It feels really jerky. That is the DCT, so I have gone for a DCT option. So it's basically like a manual, but not. It's hard to explain, but it's nowhere near as smooth as a ZF. At the end of the day, let's look at it from a realistic point. It's an M car. It's going to be aggressive, but the DCT is absolutely brilliant. The gear changes are bang on, but it is a little bit. It's nowhere near as smooth. But why did I buy an M2? You know. So yes, it's very similar to the M140, but it looks so aggressive. And one of the things that has really stood out to me ever since the M2s were released, and I always wanted one. As soon as they came out, I was like, oh my god, that is an absolutely beautiful car. If I could have any M car, I would have an M2, hands down. But I've started to notice the prices in the last year, they've not changed at all. Now, I'm sure a lot of you would know the reason they stopped the M2 and brought the M2 Comp was because of the engine. It didn't meet regulations, which a lot of people who've gone to M2 Comps from M2s have said the M2 is a better car. Non-competition M2s are holding their value very, very well. Do I think this is going to be a future classic? I genuinely believe that this car will be a future classic. Not probably in the time that I own it, but I certainly think it's going to hold its value very, very well compared to other cars on the market, because you're not going to be able to get them anymore, and they're well sought after cars. And after watching countless reviews, as you do, this car, described by a lot of, you know, automotive enthusiasts, is described as the best M car. You know, it may be the cheapest M car, but it is the best M car and shares similarities with the 1M, which, as we know, is absolutely skyrocketing in value. So not only I looked at this from a point of view, you know, it's an M2, it's much better than M140, but I'm also looking at it, and it's not much better than M140, but it's my first M car, and I've always wanted one, and the time was right, and it was literally a deal that I couldn't say no to. But guys, I can't tell you how long I've wanted an M2 for, and it was the insurance that just always stopped me from doing it, you know. Having other things and commitments to pay for, I couldn't justify spending hundreds of quid a month on insurance. There's no way I was going to do that, but everything just fitted in perfectly, and it was the exact car that I wanted, the exact spec. It's like this car's got every option bar a sunroof, and it was just one of those things that you can't say no to. So the big question is am I going to keep it? How long are you going to keep it for, Chris? I can't answer that. As you know, every time I say I'm going to keep a car, the next week it's gone. All I can say, and you can make your own answers up here or your own opinions based on this, is I've never felt so happy about a car before, ever. Ever, ever, ever. So that's telling me that this is going to be something I want to keep. I'm absolutely made up. Absolutely made up. Everything about it. Everything about it. Yes, it's a little bit older than my M140, but oh god, who cares? They just look so good, and Long Beach blue as well, man. Like, just perfect, just absolutely perfect. So for anyone who's looking at getting an M2 or looking at getting an M2 competition, I'd advise looking at both. For one, I know there's some fantastic deals at the minute on M2 competitions, but all residual values on used M2s and M2 comps are very, very good. You know, and subject to you finding a good deal, you could be paying very, very little. But you know, the transition from an M140 to an M2, I wasn't expecting it to be any faster. I kind of knew it'd be a little bit slower, but I didn't think it would feel as different as it does, especially because it's a proper setup M car, especially with the M Performance coilovers. You know, I'm really excited to show you guys this video because it has been a car that I've always wanted, and hopefully, you know, my enthusiasm here and my excitement and that I've not stopped smiling translates back to you guys. And I just want to say thank you all for being so patient with me changing my cars every 3 hours. But this one is definitely a keeper, and I can't wait to churn out some more content for you. So let me know in the comments what you think. You know, have I made the right decision going for an M2? Because a lot of people have said, oh, M3, M4. I've had all sorts of suggestions, but let me know what you think, and let me know what other future videos you want me to do with this car, because I can't wait to find out more about it and you know, just get a proper feel for it. It's early days at the minute, but I feel like it's a honeymoon period that's never going to end. I really do feel like that. I've never felt so passionate about a car before. So, in love. Absolutely in love.